Well, Psalms chapter 45 is another Messianic psalm from King David as he's talking about the Savior and his qualities and attributes. So let's read this and think about the Savior as we go through this. Verse 1, my heart is inditing a good matter, or stirred over a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the King. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. Thou art fairer than the children of men, thou, meaning the Lord. Grace is poured into thy lips, therefore God hath blessed thee forever. Gird thy sword upon thy thigh, O most mighty, with thy glory and thy majesty. In thy majesty ride prosperously because of truth and meekness and righteousness, and thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. Thine arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies, whereby the people fall under thee. Thy throne, O God, is for ever and ever. The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore God, thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. All thy garments smell of myrrh and aloes and cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made thee glad. So he's in a really good place, well prosperous, well blessed. Even the kings, they're blessing him. He smells really good. He has wealth and a power and influence to have this kind of status. Verse 9, king's daughters were among thy honorable women. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen in gold of Ophir. Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline thine ear. Forget also thine own people and thy father's house. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him. The daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift, even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor. The king's daughter, in all glorious within, her clothing is of wrought gold. She shall be brought unto the king in raiment of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto thee. With gladness and rejoicing shall they be brought. They shall enter into the king's palace. Instead of thy fathers shall be thy children, whom thou mayest make princes in all the earth. I will make thy name be remembered in all the generations. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever. Now, when you think about this one, this is a messianic psalm, but it talks about women being given to the Lord. And you might think, why? We don't have any stories of him having women there were women that followed Christ in his life, in his mortal ministry, but there's not necessarily indications that he was married or had multiple wives or anything like that. So you have to understand that this one goes along with a lot of what Isaiah talks about in regards to seeing our relationship with Christ like a marriage. So this is talking about the king's daughters. These are the most highly favored or highly sought after women in the kingdom, is the king's daughters, because they're royalty. They have potential. They have opportunity. And they are highly favored. When you want two kingdoms to come together, what happens? A king's daughter gets married. That pulls these two kingdoms together. And so this is about our relationship with Christ. So, and I think this is important too, as we see this, we'll get this into more in Isaiah, but a woman's perspective is used to teach us our relationship with Christ and his relationship with us. And so women have extra insight into the gospel and this relationship with Christ that men might not fully understand. So, ladies, I'd love to hear what you think. What do you think of when you think through this psalm of, if you were a daughter of a king, you were royalty, and you were being given in marriage to another kingdom, another lord who was mighty as well. There's a lot that goes with this. And what does that mean as a woman to do this, to go through this, but to be humble, submissive, patient as we work with Christ is some things that I see in this as well. But I look forward to your comments on this one, and let's see you over in the next psalm.